Listen, we have the new End Times DVD. I investigates End Times investigation. I have a lot of my friends on here: Lisa Haven, Michael Lake. I have Josh Peck, L.A. Marzulli, Stephen Bancrofts. I mean, 8 hours of me investigating things like Satanism, demonic powers, Illuminati, New World Order, Antichrist, one world religion, end times miracles, Bible prophecy. Folks, let me tell you something. One day, what you're watching us on right now, it's called television, it's called social media, it's called the internet. They're going to turn that baby off. You need a hard asset. When all this stuff gets shut off, this is what you're going to be able to learn from and to understand. So I want you to text the word chosen to 91999 or go to davidheavener.tv/order or call 844-806-0006.
Does everybody remember Johnny from Family Affair? And didn't he do a great job in the show?
That's why I put on my Sunday best.
Yeah, you look good. I thought you were that, or you going to a funeral or something. That's mine. Shut up. Now, Johnny played the bishop. He did a great job, didn't he? Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good job. As I watched the show for the 20 millionth time, I hear things that still make me cringe. Did you all hear some of the stuff going on in this show? Did you hear about radical Christianity, about Bibles being illegal? Did you? Yeah. And I know, I intentionally went over the top because unless you do that, people won't wake up. They'll just think, oh, it's just another. But folks, heavily armed people against Christians walking out with their hands up, and they're deemed terrorists. It's shocking. It is shocking. Now, I want to talk about Hollywood because Johnny's in Hollywood and Johnny's from Hollywood. Johnny, you've been out in Hollywood and part of the filmmaking crew, company of filmmakers, actors. Hollywood, the films that they're coming out with that are against the children, that are against the family, that are not. Let me ask you this. Is Hollywood out? Are they hurting the family or actually helping the family? And you and I haven't talked about this. What's behind that?
I am no longer proud to be a Disney supporter.
Yeah.
I am no longer proud to have been Disney, which we thought was the last great studio that would hold up for family values, chose not to even take a look at the what was going on in Florida. I'm no longer a member of a full-time, what do you call it, season pass holder. I'm no longer, I've stopped all my Disney. They have become radicalized. And can you believe, I mean, when our movie came out, how many years ago did we think that Disney could become radically anti-family and radically anti-children?
Right. Yeah.
It is scary. What you showed here in the last half hour is not far-fetched.
And Johnny, back when you and I were making movies, and of course you started as a lad, it was different then. I tell people, I worked with guys like Tony Curtis, Martin Landau, Ernest Borgnine. You worked with Sebastian Cabot. You worked with some of the greats, right? It was different then. And it's not because you and I are older. You always hear, oh, the times were always better back then. It was just true. What was it that we lost? Or what was it they had then that seems like it's missing now?
Well, it is freedom of creativity and lack of creativity. That everything has to follow a formula. And if it doesn't follow that formula, you can't get a movie made.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the formula. It's the satanic formula of destroying the father, taking out the mother, and getting to the kids. That's the formula, but they won't admit it. Back then, I was talking about Jews ran Hollywood. Jews started Hollywood, and they still had that basic Judeo respect for God. The Ten Commandments, Ben-Hur. It just, and when they would show scenes when people were in bed, the intimate love scenes, well, it wasn't until 1960s people didn't sleep in twin beds anymore, or I remember there was a rule in the studio. They had to have Tony Curtis was telling me they had to have one leg on the floor. If they were in bed doing a love scene, there'd be one leg on the floor, and this may sound like legalism, but this is just respect for God and for human beings. But now I turn on television, Johnny, and I've been watching this Prime, what's it called, Prime Network or whatever, Prime. My goodness, the stuff. I mean, it shocks me. I'm going, is this what people are watching, especially the young kids? So anyway, I want to get back to you. I want to get back to Johnny, his heart. You have a ministry where you reach out to people and you help addicts. You've gone through addiction yourself. And Anissa, the little Buffy, she went through it. And I think she OD'd, right? It was
correct. She died with the largest baseball-sized group of drugs in a youngster's stomach that the Oceanside coroner had ever seen in his life.
Yeah. Well, she had some stuff in there nobody really talked about. I want to bring it out on the show one day. She was dealing with a doctor. There was a bunch of stuff going on that just wasn't right. I know you and I, we won't get into it now, but maybe we'll talk about it. It needs to be exposed. But now you help addicts. You help people that are struggling with addiction. And I know this man's heart because we were going to do a show, but he had to go help somebody that in their addiction. He was, he put people before he does his career. What can you tell us? What are we missing, Johnny, with all this addiction going on, especially with young people? What are we not doing, and what should we be doing?
Love one another as I have loved you.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can clap. Give God a good, yeah.
That is, love God, love your neighbor. That's what's missing.
Yeah. And, we're going to end on that, but I want to ask you one more question. Without love, anything else we're doing is it's foolishness. Without love doesn't mean we're to be a doormat. It means that we're to stand on God's love. When you were doing your scene as the bishop, and I saw your heart. Didn't you all see where he really believed what he was saying? Like he was really trying to help me. I was hurting.
I heard about what happened. Do you want to talk about it?
What's there to talk about? More people are dead.
You were just doing your job, and you're doing a good job.
Am I, Bishop? Am I?
You don't make the laws. You just enforce them. And the government does everything that it can to partner with and help the church. And all they ask is that the believers conform. Then they have to register. Look, that's good, because it's good for all Christians, because it keeps out apostasy. The false teachers.
Now that you've seen it in context, what's your thoughts?
Well, I just noticed there was a whole lot more close-ups of you than of me.
Dude, when you start writing and directing and God gives you a script, then you can have your close-up. Just kidding. Okay. But
no problem.
it's not true, though. There wasn't more close up.
One real quick thing
Yeah.
about Satan, that as I flew in to the airport, I got deathly ill.
Yeah.
And I went to my Airbnb, went to sleep, and didn't wake up until the next day. It wasn't COVID, but I got up. The show must go on. I went ahead and we did it. And I came home, went to sleep again. But when I heard Pastor Paul talk about his problem, I just realized, the adversary is so real.
Yeah.
And I want to let you know how proud I am to know you and to be a part of this great work that you're doing.
Well, thank you, Johnny. I appreciate it.
A wonderful job that has come out as we all have been able to see it. And I'm glad that I'm a little bit a part of this.
Yeah, you are. You're a big part of it, Johnny. God bless you. I really appreciate you, brother.
You too.
Okay. Love you. Johnny Whitaker. He's right. He was sick and came on the set and really struggling. But this is Satan. He doesn't want things to happen. But when I was getting with Johnny is when I saw the scene, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this like the religious system? They're trying to convince you of something that isn't right, but you still wonder. It's like gaslighting. Like you see it, but they tell you it ain't there, or you don't see it, but they tell you something's there. He was saying that true believers need to register. That's all. Did you hear that? I mean, it's like, oh, really? That's all I have to do is register with you before I can worship my God? Give me a break, you see? But this is the brainwashing that they're coming up with. And folks, it isn't just about religion. See, to them, it's religion. To us, it's God, because they don't know God. It's about control. You just saw control in the religious arena. What's going to happen next, which is episode 2 and 3, is control in the financial arena. Wait till you see how that ties into this insertion, into this vaccine, how that comes together, and how you see it starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and God's people start getting more tight together in tight groups, and how it comes out. But folks, I'll be honest with you, we have no money to market really like the studios do. We don't have it to market episode 1. What you're seeing right now is God. It's grassroots. It's a miracle having David Heavener TV with Roku and Amazon. It's a miracle. It is a miracle. And so if God lays it on your heart, you want to get involved with us in some way, and we appreciate your prayers. That's the most important, by the way, is prayers. I'll take that. If that's all you have in your bank account's 0, I'll take the prayers, because if you give me prayers, God performs the miracles. You know what I'm saying? But if God lays it on your heart, you want to get involved with us, anything you buy out there on the table, the DVDs, it all goes to the ministry. The silent auction all goes to the ministry to get this TV series out. If you want to go and support the ministry, you can do that directly, maybe become a monthly partner if you'd like to. But here's the main thing. The main thing is if you'll tell somebody about this show and somebody will tell somebody else, I believe it can grow. I believe a miracle can happen. Because if the Lord doesn't come back, and if you'll look around at your young people, they're going to be the ones to suffer the consequences, because we'll be gone. They'll be the ones that you'll see up there with chains around their arms and so forth. And somebody will say, why didn't you tell me, Dad, Papa? Why didn't you tell me, Grandpa, Grandma? Why didn't you say something? Now we're saying something. With this show, we're going to get it out. All right. God bless you all. I appreciate it. God bless you guys out there, David Heavener TV, Roku, Amazon. I love you all. Thank you so much. Give God a big hand clap and a big praise. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. I am honored and blessed not to have just one new book out, but 2 new books. That's right, 2 new books. The first one is End Times Investigation. I deal with Hollywood mind control. I deal with demon portals, the alien-demon connection, astral projection, program multiples, satanic ritual abuse, and much, much more. The things that I talk about in Last Evangelist and on my shows, all my interviews I do, it's right here in this book, especially my life story. Also, True Power, how to access your true power in these last days, okay? It's a war manual for God's children. We need to learn the enemy's tactics and how to battle the enemy in these last days. Pick up a copy of this book. Just text the word chosen to 91999, or you can go to davidheavener.tv/order, or you can simply call 844-806-0006.